because they don't want to offend anybody. You got church, listen, I love the United Methodist Church. I got a lot of friends and got a lot of pastor friends in the United Methodist Church. I love the United Methodist Church. They've gone through some battles in the last several years that they shouldn't have to go through to start with if they took a stand to start with. They just a couple of weeks ago, thank God. And I told someone got kind of agitated with me. And someone said, because I told them, look, you're facing, you got a decision to make. You got to decide if you're going to stay within your denomination, and if you're going to stay, you're going to have to be a change agent. You're going to have to make sure that that your denomination stays on course. Or you got to come out from among them, one or the other. That's the choice you have to make. And one of them told me, said, well, and this is the United Methodist ministry. He said, well, when this comes to the Pentecostal Holy Church, let's see how you stand in. See what you say then. I said, I can tell you how I stand. I can tell you right now. First of all, we're not going to have this issue in the Pentecostal Holy Church. Once we had that issue, it would no longer be the Pentecostal Holy Church. And once we had that, if it even comes up for debate, I'm gone. I'm pulling out from among them. Because listen, and what the issue was over was same-sex marriage. The LGBTQ community and all that stuff. It was over. That's what the United Methodist Church has been fighting and feuding over. Finally, a couple of weeks ago, they had their conference and they put it to a vote and they made a decision that the United Methodist Church was going to stick to what the Word of God says about sex and marriage. Thank God. Thank God. But listen, they wouldn't have had that debate to start with. They'd have stood up and had a backbone to start with and stood against it immediately when it first came in within their ranks. And it's the leadership faltering more so than it was the members. It was the leadership who were faltering on that. And I'm glad that they made that decision. But they wouldn't have had that battle to start with. They'd have stood to start with. If they just took their stand when it first cropped up, if they took their stand then, they wouldn't have had that issue. But thank God they did. But see, here's the problem. It's not over with. Because the vote it come close to being a split vote from all the delegates. 400 and, I can't remember the exact number now, 400, I want to say 448 delegates voted in favor of the Word of God. 300 and like 26 or 27 who were in favor of the LGBTQ community. That's how close the vote was. So, do you think it's over? No, hardly. Well, only way it'll be over is that crowd pulls out. It might be over then, but I got doubts it's going to be over with. I got doubts about that. But thank God for right now, the UMC is standing for the Word of God. And I admire them for that. I commend them for that. We're in a day and hour now. Too many people are deviating from the Word. And listen, I'm not saying that Pentecostal holders are immune to it. Oh, no. We're not immune to it. Those battles, it could come to our doorsteps. It has been on smaller levels. It has already. Even here, we've been faced with a little bit of that issue itself, and we stood our ground. But we cannot deviate one iota. And listen, when you preach like that, and you teach like that, and you say that, there are those who say, "Oh, you're a hater." You can't be a Christian because you hate homosexuals. That is nowhere even remotely close to the truth. I love homosexuals. I love people. I've said so many times before, I love to have a church full of them just so they can hear the truth one time, at least. Now, they might get offended over it, but because the truth is going to offend people. I don't care how nice you say it, how eloquent you say it, the truth is going to offend people regardless. If it's the truth, it's going to offend some people. But listen, it's not that we hate anybody, but we just stand for the truth. And I would never mistreat anyone who chose to live that lifestyle, although I disagree with that lifestyle. I don't think it's of God. I would never mistreat anyone. But you see, the problem in church, I feel so many times lately I've reiterated this thing, I've gone over this thing, I've talked about it again. Individually and collectively, I've talked about this so many times. we're faced with the agenda. And people they're having trouble separating the agenda from the personal.